Welcome to Raw Talent. Raw Talent's a Q&A for up-and-coming talent, just to get to know about the vision and the goal of the person that we're interviewing today. We'd like to thank all the sponsors, all the paid promotions. All their contact details will be in the description below, running throughout the video. Today we've got Jake Hadley, two-time professional MMA champion and future UFC champion as well. Jake, nice to have you on, mate.
Yeah, man, it's good to be on.
Yeah, wicked, man. So we're just going to ask him a few questions just to get to know him a bit more, what he's about, what the future holds for him. And yeah, man, we're going to take from there.
Yeah, man, it sounds good to me.
Wicked, bro. First question is, how did it all start, bro?
Well, I've grown up around fighting all my life. So my daddy boxed as an amateur.
Oh, wicked.
My granddad boxed as a pro. He had like over 300 fights. He had bare knuckle fights and everything. So I grew up around fighting. When I was a young kid growing up, I was fighting at school, getting into trouble and stuff at school growing up. I always watched fighting on the TV with my dad. I remember being at school, at primary school, and thinking, I don't need to listen to this stuff. I'm going to be champion of the world one day. I'm not saying that's the right thing to think, but at the time that's what I thought like. Eventually, I hit the age of like 12, 13 years old, and my dad took me to a local MMA gym, and basically progressed from there.
So would you say the sports is give you a good direction to go to? As in like it's put you on a good path, a good journey?
Yeah, well, obviously I've got a burning desire in my body to fight, so... you know, what would I be doing if it weren't for fighting? I don't know. You know, would I be in trouble getting in fights in the street or doing this or doing that?
Okay.
I don't know what my life would have been like because, you know, I've got a burning desire just to fight, you know what I mean? Yeah. I ain't got no interest in anything else. I've never had no interest in anything else. I ain't got no interest in, when I was a young kid, I ain't got no interest in maths or English or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or football. So I only had fighting. That's it, fighting. So
yeah, I like that. I like that. So, would you recommend other kids to get into the sport then?
I'd say to kids, if they want to get into the sport of MMA, only get into it if you've got that burning desire that you want to fight. Yeah, because otherwise, it's a very dangerous sport. You can be left, you know. I don't like to say this, but you can be left brain damaged and broke.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you see a lot of fighters. It happens to a lot of fighters. I know people. I don't want to mention names. I wouldn't mention no names, but I know people who have dedicated their whole life to fighting.
Yeah.
They ain't got a penny to their name, and they're never going to be anyone.
So you'd say
I know it's a sad thing. You know what I mean? So what I'd say to kids, I'd say stay in school and
definitely,
and then and focus on that. You know.
So you say that there is advantages and disadvantages, but do what's right for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Nah, I like that. All right, next question is, Jake. Who's your biggest inspiration?
I don't know. That's a hard question to ask. If you're gonna say like who's my biggest inspiration in fighting, I'd probably say, you know, like George St. Pierre, like a smart fighter.
Yeah, GSP.
Then you got like, you could look at it like Muhammad Ali standing up for his rights and stuff in the boxing, you know, with the racism and stuff like that. That's a big inspiration. And then you got like your average day people who are inspiration to me, you know what I mean? My dad always worked all his whole life, grafting for his family and stuff like that. That's inspiration as well, I suppose. So it depends what you want to say, like.
So
you know what I mean?
You've got a few inspirations to say, yeah. All right, that's fair enough. So you got your athletes that inspire you, and then you also got your old man that inspires you.
Yeah.
Because of his work ethic,
exactly.
How a good person he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. I respect that a lot, man. I respect that a lot. So here's my main question: how do you stay so dedicated? Well, I've seen you train here, and I'm thinking, this guy is a machine, absolute machine. How do you stay so dedicated, bro?
Well, I've got nothing else in my life other than fighting and training, and I've never had anything else in my life other than fighting and training. And I've got this burning desire to be the greatest, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's all I do is work, you know, towards my goal, you know what I mean? I get up in the morning, train twice a day, 6 days a week, no matter what. When I'm training for a fight, I train 3 times a day. You know what I mean?
That's dedication.
You know, I'm just dedicated to becoming the greatest I can be.
During training camp as well, is your food effective? Do what would you say, like, you're eating?
Yeah, obviously when I'm in my training camps, I eat a lot more cleaner. You know what I mean? I also have a lot of meals. I eat 5 times a day, you know what I mean? 4 or 5 times a day, but all clean meals. Obviously, you know, I have your meals, you know, your prep meals, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you
guys,
know,
do sponsor Jake with prep meals. For the video, we're going to give him a discount code, so we'll leave that in the video. If you want any prep meals with a discount, just DM us and we'll message you with the terms and conditions.
Which obviously that helps me a lot, because obviously it's already prepped for me, so you know, and it's healthy and tasty, you know what I mean, rather than, you know, you get a lot of health food, you start plain, you know what I mean, and you know, you gotta go for the stuff where you're cooking it yourself, and
the spice,
you know what I mean. That's the one. So there you go, you know what I mean.
Alright, hobbies and interests. What are your hobbies and interests? Besides fighting, because I know that you're a fighter. Every question, I love fighting, burning desire, this. I know that and I can see that, and it's wicked. I love that energy. But besides fighting and that, what other interests do you have? Like, what do you watch any box sets? Do you read any books? Anything like that?
I wouldn't say I got no hobbies really. I don't suppose. I guess I enjoy eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's all our hobby. That is.
Maybe, I don't know, if I get a chance, I might sit down and watch a film or something like that. But
Okay,
that's very rare. But like, you know, like, I don't know. So I ain't really got. I'm the most boring guy in the world, because all I do is train and fight. Train, fight, eat, sleep. That's about all.
That's exciting, you know. That's not boring, mate. That's exciting. Trust me. Nah, that's big respect. That is, man. Big respect. Next question is, what's your proudest moment, a proudest fight that you done, come out of?
I'd say my proudest moment was when I fought a guy named Nkazimulu Zulu in South Africa, in Cape Town, South Africa. He was he's like a legend of the sport of MMA. He's multiple time world champion, multiple weight world champion. He's been in the UFC. At the time, he was one of the most feared fighters in the world, knocking everyone out. Like, he'd break guys' eye sockets, break the nose.
Okay.
Knock guys clean out cold. No one wanted to fight him. Everyone refused to fight him. And I was a nobody at the time.
Right.
And they just wanted someone to come in and fight him. You know what I mean? Because no one would fight him. So I was sent in as a sacrificial lamb. First time fighting abroad. Everyone ripped me off. My own friends come up to my face and told me they was worried about me.
Really?
Multiple guys told me they was worried about me. No one really gave me a hope in hell, but I knew, I believed in myself. My dad believed in myself, and there's another guy named Ryan Hewitt.
Okay.
He believed in me as well. No one else gave me a shot. No one in the world gave me a shot, but I knew. And I went over to South Africa. I went over to his backyard on his turf.
You done him.
And I done him. You know what I mean? Won every single round, dominated him.
Yeah.
And he was a guy who I looked up to when I was an amateur.
Right.
He was the champion like when I was an amateur.
Okay.
He'd been dominating the scene. He's been dominating the scene for years. So he's the guy I looked up to for many years. But he's always a guy I thought to myself, I can beat him. One day I'm gonna beat him. You know what I mean? And going out there and doing it and beating him it was a hard fought fight. Like, it was back and forth. Well, like, I dominated him, but like, he'd give me moments where he'd hit me and he'd hurt me. You know, he'd drop me early on in the fight, etc. You know, and to win that fight and win that belt at that time, it was my biggest, you know, achievement in my. Even though I'd say winning the Cage Warriors title was more of a prestigious title to win. Yeah. Beating Zulu was my biggest achievement.
Definitely. For me, one of the best fights is when you fought Shave.
Yeah.
That kick was lethal, James. I was watching it with my brother and I've just jumped out my seat.
Yeah.
Wicked, absolutely wicked, man. That was a wicked fight.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, he's a good man. Saji's one of the top guys in Europe at flyweight. He's been dominating the scene for many years. He beat one of my teammates. One of my sparring partners actually. He beat one of my sparring partners, Sam Creasy. He also holds a win over Ronnie Mann, who's one of the top Bellator fighters.
Right.
So, you know, he's a real good opponent. You know, his only losses are to UFC fighters for.
Okay.
I was the first man to stop him, you know what I mean? And you know, did it viciously, dominantly.
Bad guys, I'm gonna put the link of that video because it was just a bad fight. My favourite fighter, Jake, you know, I swear it was lethal, absolutely wicked. You might check that out, that was really good, man. In MMA then, what would you say is your, in fact, you know, I'm not gonna answer that question because that's your weapon, innit? I was about to say, what's your niche, what's your like killer aspect of knocking people out?
My killer aspect is I'm a mixed martial artist. I can fight everywhere.
You can do anything.
I can strike, I can wrestle, I can jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, to be fair, you can
There's certain fighters that can only do certain things, you know, they can only strike or they can only wrestle. I can mix it up with anyone, you know what I mean? So I don't mind telling people my secret stuff because they ain't going to stop me anyway because I'm a mixed martial artist. If you're a better striker than me, I'm just going to take you down and spike you on your hand your face to the floor.
I like that.
If you're a better grappler than me, I'm just not going to let you take me down and knock you out, kick you in the face, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I like that.
You know.
That's good, that is. In a fight then, what do you like doing the most? Do you like the groundwork or do you like banging people in the face?
Obviously, like the knockout's always better, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, the casuals like it better, don't they? You know, like your average people, like, that can see a knockout and wow, where from a submission, like if you choke someone out, normal people, they don't understand that as much, you know what I mean? You know, like the casual fans and, you know, normal people like my mates or something like that, don't understand that as much as a knockout. Everyone understands a knockout, you know what I mean? So obviously, and it feels better to knock someone out, you know what I mean?
Defo.
But to be honest, I don't care as long as I win.
I respect that.
People only care about winners, so all you gotta do is make sure you win every time.
I respect that.
You know, whether that's a knockout, submission or decision, just make sure you win.
I respect that. That's true, that is, definitely. Alright, this is nothing to do with MMA. What's your favourite genre of film? I got asked this in the last one and I just longed out the question. I felt sorry for Deborah. She's thinking this guy is just longing out my question. What's your favourite genre of film? And just one off the top of your head, your favourite film in that genre.
Well, I've got to say comedies.
Comedies?
Okay.
Comedies. Well, which favourite comedy?
I don't know. I'd say like my favourite film. And this is gonna be magic. I'm gonna sound like a wimp, but like it's gonna be like what's that? Forrest Gump.
That's a bad film. That's a bad film, man. That's a top film. That's a top film. That is,
you know what I mean? I like that film.
When you said whip film, wasn't it called like Joy Miss Daisy or something like that? I was thinking that's a bad film. Tom Hanks, bad actor.
I like that film. You know what I mean? You know, it's just more. Just have a nice film, I don't know, like, rather than the shooting and all that shit. You know
I respect that. I respect that, man. Next question is, Jake. We know what you like about the sport. We know you like fighting. One aspect that you don't like about competing?
I'd say, you know, one thing that I don't think any fighter likes is the weight cutting. You know what I mean? You know, the diet and that's okay. You know, everyone can deal with the diet, I suppose. Well, then again, I know some fighters who can't deal with a diet, but like what's hard is the weight cut, as in like the water cut. So for those who don't know, like stuff like you got a like salt bath and sauna and towels. Go in the towels, you wrap up like a mummy in a towel and you sweat it all out. And a lot of people lose a lot of weight, you know, in a short amount of time. You know, like people can lose loads of weight. I don't know how to explain it in like pounds or stones, like 7 kilo, like a stone. People lose in like a couple of days. You know what I mean? Like,
what's the worst weight cut you've had to do then?
My worst one was my last fight. That was hard. That was. I cut a lot of weight for that fight, and I was like nearly passing out in the bath and stuff like that. So I was doing the hot bath, and I was like nearly passing out, and like I was going to pass out, and then they had to grab me and like get me out the bath and stuff like that, and I was dying on the floor. And then I missed weight. You see, my first attempt, I missed weight, and I only had half a kilo to lose.
Really?
Left, but I went back in the bath for 20 minutes, and then the towels for another 20 minutes. I only lost 0.2.
Joking.
Yeah, and I was like dead. I was like dead, man. I didn't think I could make the weight, but like. Eventually I made the weight, you know what I mean? I had to be carried to the scales and everything, man. I was dying, like, I had like the towel around my waist like this, and And I was like, fuck it, I can't even be asked to carry it. So I just dropped it in front of everyone. Everyone saw my balls. Like, everyone there sitting me in that. I was like dying and I had to be carried everywhere. But what? You know, that was an extreme one. Obviously, usually I cut it a bit better. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that was an extreme one. But I rehydrated properly because obviously, if you cut the weight bad, you can have a bad performance the next 100%. Day. But if you rehydrate properly, gives you a better chance. Obviously, I rehydrated properly and I felt good in the fight. You know what I mean? I went 5 rounds easy. You know what I mean? I didn't even have a sweat come off my forehead. You know what I mean?
That was a good fight. That was that was a very good fight.
So I wouldn't advise it to anyone. Even like fighters wouldn't advise it to another fighter. You know what I mean? But every fighter goes through it because obviously size matter in fighting, especially in MMA. You know what I mean? So the fighters always try to be bigger.
But that's something a champion has to go through, innit? That's a sacrifice. That's nobody wants to do the weight cut, but look what you are now, man. You're world champion. You know what I mean? 2 promotion world champion. That is impressive. Very impressive. So the things you're doing is getting you to where you need to be. The sacrifice you're taking is getting you where. So it's the mindset of a champion, a true champion.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a lot of paper champions and just chat and just whatever. You're actually a true champion, and I really respect that, man.
Nice one,
that is really good, man. That fair play, man.
Yeah, nice one, bro.
What's next for Jake then?
You know, well, I've got a few things on the horizon. You know, hopefully I'll be in the UFC soon. In America, it's a promotion based in America. Obviously, I'm the Cage Warriors champion and EFC champion, so hopefully I believe I'll be in the UFC come before the end of the year and fighting around the world. So that's what's next for me, I believe.
Brilliant. That's the end of Raw Talent today. Thanks for Jake for coming on. It's been a great pleasure to having you on. Thank you to all the sponsors, the paid promotions. The contact details will be in the description below. If you'd like to comment, share, subscribe, that'd be brilliant. Thanks a lot, guys.
Alright.
Put me on the spot. I think it looks more like a boxing conference. You know what I mean? I feel like Eddie Hearn. He's a fighter, you know,
He's trying to compose himself at the minute.
I know, bro.